Good morning, guys. Today we're going to work on activity 1.3, combining transformations of absolute functions. We're going to go through a bit of this, couple pages I will say, and then we'll call it a day for today. Remember, any work that you do complete, please make sure you submit it through Canvas and submit it to from Knowability to Canvas so that I can give you a grade. As a reminder, I can only increase your grade. I cannot lower it. So make sure if you're doing the work, turn it in so I can help increase your grade. Alright, when a function is transformed by changing the a or d values, or both, these changes are said to occur outside the function. These changes, or these values, affect the output to a function y. When the c value is changed, this changes the argument of the function. A change to the argument of a function is said to happen inside the function. These values affect input to a function or x. So, for example, this was the d that we were talking about before that changes the function moving up or down. This, I'm going to change color for that. The a right over here is what changes the function to be wider or smaller, okay? And then the c is what's the value of changing inside the function. So the argument of a function is the expression inside the parentheses. For y equals f parentheses x minus c, the expression x minus c is the argument of the function. I just read that right over here just so everybody understands. Okay, now number 1. Use coordinate notation to describe how each point x, y, sorry guys, I'm changing my pen, x, y on the graph of f of x becomes a point on the graph of g of x. So, essentially what this means is this, that if it's inside the parentheses, we go opposite sign. So since it's a minus c, we have to do a plus c. Okay, so essentially how this would look, it would be x plus c, comma, ay plus d will be our points. Okay, so if it's inside the parentheses and it's a minus, we do the opposite. So we do a plus. So if it's a plus, we do a minus then. Number 2. So the order pair x, comma, absolute value x describes any point on the graph of the basic absolute value function f of x equals absolute x. For a transformation of the function, any point on the graph of the new function can be written as x plus c, a times x, or absolute value of x plus c plus d. Given the basic absolute value function f of x equals absolute value of x, consider each transformation describe the transformation effects f of x. Okay, so we have to graph it and then describe how it changes. So what's nice is we can use our calculator on this. Okay, so all this comes out to be is the absolute of x minus 1. Okay, so let's write down describe first. So we know this a is equal to 2 because that's what this part is right here. It affects y values. C is equal to 1 because that's what's right here, and affects x values. So we plug this in. So we pull up our calculator. We hit y equals, let's clear all this. We would hit 2, math, write 1, hit the absolute, and we type in, sorry, I'm looking at the problem. Sorry guys, there it is. Alpha x minus 1. And we would hit graph. We'd hit second graph again because then it gives us our y points. So when we look at this, our y points is when it's x is 0, our y is 2. X is 1, Y is 0. So if we go on here and graph, we said when X is 0, Y is 2. When X is 1, Y is 0. X is 2, Y is 2. Then we looked at when X is 3, Y is 4. X is 4, Y is 6. So we're going up 2 each time. So up 2 over 1, 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 and up 2 over 1. As long as you guys are able to know how to type it in the calculator, I will always allow you to use a calculator on the test. Okay? I will not take that away from you guys. So as long as you know how to type it in and know how to get to the information, you will do perfectly fine on this. Okay, because this is all I'm going to ask you to do is just like that. Okay. Now if we look at B, 1/2 f of x plus, or 1/2 f of x plus 2 minus 2. So we know, once again, we just have to plug this in. Okay, so let's go back here to our calculator, hit Y, clear it all. We're going to hit alpha y equals, hit the u/d, actually should be just hitting fraction, hit enter. Now we're going to type in, we look at that one, it's 1 down 2 over, now we're going to hit absolute, so we're going to have to do math, right 1, absolute, alpha, stow where the x is, plus 2, right arrow, minus 2. Oh, I forgot the minus sign did not go in. Minus 2, so it should look just like this. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hit graph, and it'll show us what our graph looks like. We're going to hit alpha, or I'm sorry, second Y tape graph again, and it's going to give us our points. So when x is 0, y is -1. So let's go to here. X is 0, y is -1. Okay, so we have that point. When y is 1, it's -0.5. When y is 2, it's 0. So it's going to be easier to do the 2 and 0, 4 and 1. So 2, 0, 4, and 1. So if you look and see, it's going to go up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Same thing here. Up 1 over 2. 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 So our function will look like this. Or I should say our graph will look like this. And that's all you have to do, is sketch it on there. Okay. Next is this one. I'm going to do 2C. Actually, I want you guys to do 2C on your own, so when we're done, you come back and do 2C. I'm going to do 2D for you guys, and then 2C, you do that one on your own. I want to see if you guys can do that one by yourself. So we look at this one as -2 f of x plus 3 plus 1. So we go back to our calculator. Once again, we hit y equals. Clear all this out. As I said, this one, D, is -2. So you have to do the negative sign, not minus. Math, right 1, absolute. Alpha, stow where x is. Plus 3, right arrow, plus 1. And it should look like that. We hit graph, gives us our graph look. We hit second graph, and it gives us our value points. So because we know that there is a -2 in front, we automatically know it's going to be a downward looking one. Okay, so now we know 0 is -5. So we go back to our graph. So when x is 0, we're at -5, so we got to count down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll always start that way, make it easy. If we look at these numbers here, we can see where our top out point is. So for this one, where our peak is, where it's the absolute lowest value, and it's going to be -3 is when x is -3, y is +1. So when x is -3, so we go over 3, 1, 2, 3, y is 1, so we go up. Okay, so that's as high up as we're going to go for this one. We come back and look. When -2, x is -2, y is -1. When x is -1, y is -3. So we plug those in. I'm sorry, I just thought I lost my train of thought. So 2, -2, -1, -1, -3. -2, -1, -1, -3. And then we know it's going to match on the other side. So we just look and see. So we're going to go right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2. And that's how our graph would look. And we just connect the points. Like I tell you guys each day, if you hold the pen down or your finger down, it gives you an automatic straight line. Alright, now we are on to number 3, which is asking us to graph negative wx on the same coordinate plane as wx in question 2, part C. So now you're getting a little lucky. We're going to do number 2 together. Okay, so we'll do this one together so that you guys can do the opposite on that as well. So let's go back here. We'll type this in, clear that out. So we're looking at number C, which was 2, math, right 1, absolute, alpha, stole where the x would be, plus 3, right, plus 1. Graph, second graph, gives us our points. And if we look at our numbers, the y's, our lowest point, where it's not being repeated, is -3 is y is 1. So x is -3. X is -3, so we go over left 3, 1, 2, 3. Y is +1. Okay? So we know that point. And then -2, x is -2, +3, -1, +5. So -2, +3, -1, +5. So it's going, each time it's going up 2 to the right 1, up 2, right 1. Go to the other side, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, and that's as far as you can go. So again, just draw the lines connecting. And then this next one, I'm going to change the color of it. So what they're asking us to do is to essentially replace a negative sign in front of it. So now if we come back here and we go all the way to the front here and we put a negative sign in there. Okay. Oh, sorry, I hit too soon. They're asking us to put a negative there and make everything a minus instead of a plus, essentially. Nope, no they're not. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just look and see exactly how they're doing it. There. So what they're doing is that they're saying is to replace the negative wx. So what it would be is we put a negative in front of the 2 and change the +1 to -1. Because what we'll end up doing is we're going to be reflecting this over the x-axis. Okay, so meaning that we take this points and we're essentially reflecting it like this. So that's why I'm doing it in the red. It's going to be reflected. It's going to be the same looking thing, except for it's going to be on the opposite side of the x. Okay, so by doing that, we just end up moving our points down just like they were up there. So kind of like what I just drew there, we're just moving our same points down now. Okay? So that this, I'm going to tell you what the red is. this is our negative w parenthesis x, and this is our just w parentheses x. Okay. All right. So that's done 3 there. So I'm going to end there today. We'll continue on 1.4 tomorrow. And then we'll finish up the last few things. And then we will be taking our formative once we're all done with this. All right. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will assist you with anything that you have a question on. Have a great day, guys.